Hey everyone, so I'm going to be doing a low-carb vegetarian food shop. I just want to make a note that this is just stuff that I'm going to be eating. If you think that this is wrong for you, then don't eat it. This is not like the opportunity for other people to tell me how I should eat. That's something that I really can't stand on doing any kind of food videos, and I'm just going to tell you right away that those comments will just be removed because I always think eating is something so personal. I'm really just sharing what works for me, but you do you. Whatever thing you're on, if you're vegan, if you're this or that, like, you do that. This is what I'm gonna do. This was a little bit tricky for me in the beginning because last time I was doing low carb, which really worked great for me, I was still eating meat, and this time around I'm not gonna be eating meat, so I had to figure out kind of what to replace the meat with. Sometimes I eat a little bit of fish, but I don't eat a lot of fish. It's not like I replace meat with fish and eat fish every day. So I'll eat fish maybe like once a month or something like that. So one of the great things about low carb is that you can eat berries, pretty much any berries. Blueberries I think are the only ones that are a little bit higher in carb, but like frozen blackberries, of course fresh as well, or strawberries. These are raspberries. Most other fruit has a lot of sugar in it. So stock up on some berries. I like the frozen ones because I like to make smoothies. And then most of the stuff here, this is all vegetables. And as you can see from the color, most of it is green and red. Basically what you should do is when you're buying vegetables, this is a super easy rule of thumb, is buy vegetables that grow above the ground. So any kind of root vegetables like potatoes, sweet potatoes, you want to generally avoid because they have more carbs, and buy all the stuff that grows above the ground. So here we have like cucumbers, tomatoes. These actually are below the ground, so this is an exception. The radishes. Also a good rule of thumb to go by is red and green vegetables, so pretty much all red and green vegetables are good. So like leafy greens are really good, spinach, any kind of salad and lettuce and anything like that. I've got some bell peppers, those are always great. Zucchini, I have here an eggplant. Now I do have some carrots here. Carrots are from the root vegetables, the ones I think that have the least amount of carbs, especially when eaten raw. So I'm going to be eating these raw as dip. Now, when you're doing low carb, obviously you're not going to be getting a ton of calories just from vegetables, right? Because most vegetables don't have a lot of calories. So that's not going to leave you feeling very full. So usually on low carb, people tend to eat a lot of meat with it. I was kind of stumped, like what do vegetarian low carbers eat? So I really looked into this. I did a ton of research. This is kind of what I am going to be eating. So one of the things is nuts. So I've got some peanuts here. I have some pecan nuts, organic almond butter, and you want to do a little bit of research on what kinds of nuts to eat because some of them are not good on a low carb diet and some of them are really good. Actually, almonds are kind of in the middle. I think macadamia nuts are the best. Pecan nuts are really good, and the big, like the Brazil nuts, I think those are the best on low carb. And then I actually found this. This is, I kind of was looking for a bread. Now this is actually a low carb protein bread. There is egg in here. There is soya and different kinds of seeds and stuff. So it's not like a traditional bread, because bread is usually made with wheat and stuff like that, and that tends to have a ton of carbs. This has 82% less carbs than regular breads. If you buy something like that has carbs written on the back, you want to look at the amount of fiber. So then you can basically subtract the fiber from the amount of carbs, and that will give you the net carb, because all the fiber stuff like passes your body, so you end up not actually ingesting it. This one has a really low net carb. This is more herby stuff, so this goes with the vegetables. And then here I have sweetener with my smoothies. I like my smoothies really sweet, and since I can't put bananas, like I have a couple bananas here that I'm going to use up, but once those are gone, I'm not going to repurchase because bananas are pretty much like the highest carb fruit that exists because it's just so sugary. So I'm going to be doing my smoothies and adding this as a sweetener instead, and this is stevia based. So stevia is a natural sweetener. It comes from the stevia plant, which is why it looks like that. Now, some people are really against using sweeteners in general. Again, do what you feel is best for you. Snacky stuff, olives are a perfect low carb snack. They are high in fat, but low in carbs. I think they have 0 carbs, actually. Yes, 0 gram carbs. For dairy, what you want to buy is the high fat stuff. Now, that sounds like contradictory. Usually when when you're going on like a diet, they tell you, oh, low fat this and low low fat that. Well, with low carb, it's completely the opposite. You know, basically, if you take the product directly from the dairy, removing the fat is actually an unnatural process. So if you look at something like this actually has like a very low carb intake. So when you're doing low carb, you don't want to be looking at calories, and you're not really looking at fat content, you're looking at carbs. So usually the higher the fat content is, the lower the carbs. Some full fat sour cream here. I've got like a double cream here. I'm going to be making a dip out of this. And then I've got a full fat Greek yogurt. This is another great thing. So for breakfast, you want to be getting Greek yogurt. I mean, it tastes awesome. Just always make sure you get the plain stuff. You don't want anything sweetened because that's going to have sugar in it, right? And then I have here Quark. This is a European product that's not generally available in North America. It's a type of dairy product. It's not cottage cheese and it's not yogurt. It's something else. Maybe you can find this in some stores. It has a very thick consistency, so it really fills you up. Here's some halloumi, which I like to make on the barbecue. So sometimes if I'm just going for like a light dinner, or like have halloumi with a bunch of vegetables, like that'll be great. So I've got some halloumi for me. And then I have tofu. So this is going to replace my protein. I mean, a lot of these things have protein in them anyway, and I'm going to be making that with like the vegetables and stuff. I actually have some more avocados, and this is again something that's great on low carb because it doesn't have a lot of carbs at all, and it has a lot of fats in it, healthy fats. Some coconut milk. I'm actually inviting someone over for dinner tonight, and we are going to be cooking together. We're going to be making like a Thai curry, which is why I bought chicken for her. I'm not going to eat the chicken, but coconut milk is great. It is again low carb, high fat. So this is chicken. I am inviting a friend over for dinner. So my husband and my friend are not vegetarians. Like usually I don't usually cook meat for other people, but I'm gonna make an exception today. I'm not gonna eat that. But if you do eat meat, if you're a meat eater, this meat is good on a low carb. You can always eat meat. What else do I have? Oh, I have here some coconut like shavings, like it's dried coconut shavings. Again, super low carb, and this is great for like in the morning if I'm going to be making smoothies and stuff with the berries and the yogurt. I'll put some of this in for sustenance. Again, this is kind of high in fat, so this is really going to leave me satiated. So especially since I'm not going to be eating meat, I need to replace it with other things that are going to fill me up. Then I have eggs. Eggs are great on low carb, great for making quick breakfasts, you know, omelets and stuff. And then cheese. So cheese is something that you can also eat on low carb. As a vegetarian, this is going to be great because there's like no carbs in here, and it's going to fill you up. You can add this to salads and any kind of vegetable stuff that you're making. Obviously, the vegetables should be the main part, but you're gonna have to top it with stuff because otherwise you're gonna be feeling really hungry. 0.9 grams per 100 grams, which is basically nothing. I think this one is even 0. This is on 0. Living in Switzerland, for me, that's great because we have so much cheese here. So that's something I can easily buy. And lastly, I do have some milk here. Now, this is a little bit tricky on low carb because actually milk tends to be higher in carbs than cream and stuff like that, but I do sometimes like milk like in tea and stuff. We don't really like drink it like just like a glass of milk, you know what I mean, but we have it with our tea and coffee. So yeah, that's kind of some of the stuff. I mean, there's gonna be more like as I kind of go along and learn more about different recipes and stuff. I'm sure I'll be adding more to this, but definitely stock up on your green and red vegetables. Anything that grows above ground, that's a really easy rule. For fruit, always go for berries, and then the rest of the stuff is really, you know, if you decide to go vegetarian, you want to make sure that you buy stuff with lots of fat content because that is going to leave you satiated. But if you do eat meat, then you probably won't need all this fatty stuff because you're going to be getting most of your like nutrients from the meat. So we'll see how it goes this time. If you want to see a food diary of the kind of meals that I prepare with this, then please give this video a thumbs up, and I will try and put something together with you guys for next time. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.